Hey, welcome to Blood Moon Oracle. Tonight, I hope you guys are well. We've come to the wind down after the 9 to 5. But as I was ending my day, my work day, I was like, it's a lot of interaction, interesting interaction happening in the energies right now. And so I wanted to take a look at um, what you want, right? What do you want? What do they want? Is there a compromise, right? I don't feel like it's necessarily conflictual. Sometimes it could just be that the energy needs to be clarified. Maybe there's an understanding that needs to come in here. And so, anywho, let's jump into it and see what comes out when we ask, um, what's in the energy when it comes to what it is that we're wanting, right? In this moment, as it pertains to, we're going to look at your energy, and then we're going to look at their energy, and then we're going to look at what is the compromise, if there is one. It is general, right? So don't take it serious. Don't take it to heart. Don't make it have to fit. Like if it doesn't, just let it roll off your back, right? It doesn't have to. If it does, then woohoo, right? All right, like, share, comment, subscribe if you're just passing by and you want to, find out what the page is doing. I appreciate all of the love you're showing my page. I appreciate it. I am Blood Moon Oracle. And so let's take a look. Again, as I stated, this is a general read, but if you're looking for a personal read, you can shoot me an email. If you just want to say hello, you can shoot me an email and say, hey, what's going on? I'll talk back. Okay. So let's take a look. I did pull out my energies for the sake of time. So just to give you an idea of what we are working with, I have my Dream Oracle, my Bourbon Crow Oracle, and my Crow Tarot, right? Back to the crows. I love my crow deck. It just relates very well with where I am right now. And so I'm able to connect with it really well right now. Not that I don't connect with the other ones, but sometimes I feel a certain connection with certain decks. And the Crow Tarot has been kind of most consistent. Sometimes I pull others off of my shelf if it feels like something special in the energy I'm feeling, but that's what I'm feeling tonight. That's what we're going with. Okay. So for your energy, when I pulled out the cards around what it is that you want, I got the 7 of Wands. Let's let you look at that for a second. The 7 of Wands. And of course, sevens feel very spiritual to me. It doesn't always have to be. Some people say 7 is God's perfect number. And then we have freedom, which has also been coming out quite a bit lately. I'll let you look at that. Freedom. You may be, if this reading resonates, because this card has been frequenting so very much, find that I pull like from the energies of people that may drop by to watch. So if this is resonating and you haven't, you may want to go back and watch previous readings about how we're relating to other people, like how we're interpreting other people's energy, and possibly even taking a peek into the energies, how they're playing out for us right now. And then for the Oracle card, one other Oracle card, I got Naked for you, okay? That's for you. Now looking at them, the cards I got were the Hermit, Major Arcana, a Mimicry. I love German Shepherds. I plan to get one day. when I have enough land for them to just run across and be free. And lastly, I have money coming out for them. And again, we're taking a look at what it is that you want, what they want, and what the compromise looks like, if there is one. For the compromise, I pulled out the Knight of Wands, Commitment, and Computer in the compromise. Depending on how long this takes, we may dive in a little bit deeper and possibly wherever we're being led. After exploring these energies, we may go in a little bit deeper and see what that looks like, okay? But starting with you. So first of all, when I asked, what is it that you want? The Seven of Wands came out. This really feels like you wanting to, first of all, feel safe. There could be something right now, recently, or just in general, where you feel like you need to be protected, covered, safe. I do feel like you may have worked really hard to get where it is that you are right now. Just looking at the position of the crow, you've worked really hard. See how they look like they're working upward in stages, but you've worked really hard to get where you are. And one thing that people don't share about making it, and we're just going to use this example, like making it to the top. If you've made it to a place where you work really hard to get there, and it's like the proverbial carrot that you have been able to, receive for yourself, there's some accomplishment I feel like that you've worked really hard to get to. And though you thought that this is like really what you wanted, which it could have been, but getting there actually opened up a whole nother can of worms, or a whole nother thing to worry about, right? It's one thing getting to the top of the mountain, but it's another thing staying there. I don't know if there is a lot of work being put in to maintain where you are, where you've worked to get for yourself. The Seven of Wands feels like it could be in kind of like a protective posture, and willing to defend what it is that you have, what you've worked for, wherever it is that you have climbed and really put in effort and sacrifice to make happen. Wherever you find yourself today, it feels like you're very protective of that. And so the Seven of Wands makes me feel like you want to feel safe, to feel protected, to feel covered, to feel like you don't have to necessarily guard against anything or anyone that would come in with the intentions of destroying or taking, right? You just want to feel safe, right? You want to feel open and comfortable. That's what this feels like. Never mind my nails. Like I've been practicing nails, and so they're popping on and off. But the Seven of Wands gives that feel. And for me, many times when the seven represents a level of spirituality, it brings that energy up. And so this could even be wanting to feel protected spiritually too. There's a lot of clouds, if you're able to see, right? So there's a lot that may not be seen, that may be hidden around this bird. And so there's the need to really feel safe, to be aware of what's around, any dangers that may be present, any intentions that are hidden, right? There's just this feeling that I'm feeling with you that like you want to feel safe and comfortable, right? Freedom coming out. Kind of like having the ability to move as you desire. For some, this could be wanting to be able to just get up and go at the spur of the moment, wanting to travel, wanting to be free, not being shackled down by anything or anyone, right? There's the desire for liberation. And this could be not only speaking physically, but this could also be that inner sense of freedom as well. The freedom to choose, the freedom to express, the freedom to move and do as you will, right? There's some sense of being liberated here that could lend to that spiritual energy that I'm feeling. For some of you, this could be a spiritual liberation that you're desiring. Feeling like you're free to be led by your heart, right? There's some energy of wanting to really be free to explore when things come up that interest you, that pique your interest and your desires, and not being bogged down by anything, right? You want to be able to explore is a good way to put it. And with naked, this takes it even more deeper, right? It's almost like we're going in layers for you. But with naked, now we're talking about being free in the deepest parts of who we are. You desire to actually be able to be open and honest and expressive and authentic, down to the very core of who you are. Like you want to just take everything, the masks off. You want to not have to hide behind anything. You want to actually be able to wear your soul on your sleeve, right? That's the level of comfort and freedom and safety that you want to feel. And you don't want to feel like that's hindered by anybody's opinion or anybody's needing to, feel like they need to come along and protect you from yourself. This card, Naked, really talks about you wanting to be like an open book. For you, that's liberation. You're probably even somebody that if you could walk outside, with the least amount of clothes as possible, just because you want to feel free, you want to be able to move the way you want to, and you don't want to be constricted by clothes and by stuff, by shoes, and you just want to be free. You want to feel the air against your body and move, against your body through the open spaces in your body. It's like you don't want to be bogged down or restricted or kept back from anything that actually is available to give you enjoyment in life. Mostly it feels like you being able to be expressive in the way that you desire to. There's something beautiful about not feeling like you have to wear a costume or cover up or hide behind something and feeling safe to do so. I feel like this card, Naked, is talking about that. Daring to just be open and bear it all. This could also talk about you wanting to be released from something that you may fear other people finding out, right? Even that, right? It's like, I wish I could just be completely free and not live in fear in any kind of way, shape, or form, even from my own secrets. Like I want to bear it all so that there's nothing that anybody could say or hold against my head. Like I love, a person who will tell you their secrets before you get to tell it, just so it ain't nothing to, it ain't no big thing. Like I'm gonna tell you, just so you can get it out your system, right? Because then nobody has anything that they can say because you've already said it, right? What's the worst that they can say? You've already said it and shown it and exposed it for yourself. So there it is. It's all out in the open. I'm free now, right? It feels like you just want to be able to walk unhindered is what it feels like with this naked and not fear rejection, not fear, anything outside of yourself. I feel like there's a deep part of you that wants to choose you without a shadow of a doubt, no matter what it is, no matter what it ain't, and actually have that be the most center rooted part of your being. So you're not dependent upon anything outside of yourself. So there's nothing left to hide. Yeah. I don't know if there was some type of experience that you may have had where you felt that way, like you couldn't show up in your authentic self because of the expectations of others. And I don't know why I'm feeling like it could even be those that may have even meant like they wanted the very best, like they, in their mind, they were doing you a favor, or they felt like they were, but in fact they weren't, right? They were almost making you feel like you were bound, like to someone else's idea of you, of who they wanted you to be, or what they thought you should be. There's like an escaping from that kind of energy too. And not that it's bad. It's beautiful to have people around that love us and that can absolutely see parts of life that we can't see yet, or we just don't see it. But that can also be damaging too. It could also be damaging too. This comes up a lot with kids because raising kids is really a balance. There's the balance of giving them the freedom to develop, but also keeping just enough, protection and guardedness to kind of guide them. It's a dance. You don't want to be the helicopter parent, but at the same time, you don't want to be the permissive parent that just don't care, and so it's a dance. But sometimes it could be damaging, right? To have someone love you like that and place their expectations on you. There's something here that may have happened here for you that caused you just to want to be, free and authentic. There's even a part of this where there's the expression of your sexual nature that may have been, shoved down or not accepted. There wasn't a space for you to show up and be fully who you were. And I'm talking about feminines, I'm talking about masculines, however you see yourself, there was some repression possibly of that part of you. And, you're like, this is what I want. I want to be free to express myself however I desire to do that. And so there's something about that. And there's this joy that you get from being able to show up in your authentic self like that. Now, On this other side, when I go over to what they want, you want to just be authentic. You want to live your very best life like it's golden, right? And you want to, I feel like, take advantage of things that show up that is appealing to your heart or to your spirit. It's almost like living on the edge of life and just taking life for what it is and just enjoying it. And the best way that you found that you can do that is by being open and expressive and allowing yourself to be and experience, but also feeling like it's safe to do that. It's safe to do that. And you don't have to hide or covet any parts of yourself or what you have for fear that somebody's going to come along and try to wreck what it is that you have going. There's this sense of guardedness a little bit. So let's get into what it is that they want, right? And so this is definitely someone possibly that has some connection or some type of relating to you. It could be romantic, does not have to be. It could be platonic, right? It could be familial, right? It could be in any capacity. But there's some comparing the energy because we are looking at a situation that possibly needs to have a little bit of light shed on, or maybe some understanding of both sides of the energy and what's desired here, and whether or not there's a compromise in the situation. And this is what came out, okay? So on their side, we have the Hermit. They want their space. They want to be able to experience life detached. They want to experience life detached. What do I mean by that? They want to not be tied down. And let me explain that. The Hermit is someone who is really a seeker. They're seeking something in life. They are seeking purpose, possibly. They're seeking some level of experience that's going to give them a reason to be here or explain something. They're seeking answers, and they want the space to be able to do that. When I say detached, that means there will be nothing that gets in the way of their mission in life. And right now, the energy came out saying that they're a seeker. This is probably the thing that will take precedence over everything else. This drive to find an answer, to find even the light, right? There's some answer or some even mystery that this person may be driven by. And so when I say detached, I don't say that in a negative way. What I mean is that this person wants the space to seek, and they don't want to be attached to anything that will get in the way of them carrying that mission out. There's something about carrying a light, which the bird is literally doing in this picture, but metaphorically speaking, there's something about carrying a light, illuminating, possibly carrying something or giving something to others. There is some connection in some type of way. I'm freezing. Sorry, y'all. Bringing warmth to spaces that are cold or frozen or there's something here about this person kind of like having a mission in their mind, right? They're on a mission. And that's what's most important, okay? That's what they want, the space to carry out their mission. I don't know why I'm freezing. I hope things are okay. The other card that came out is mimicry. Look at the beautiful doggy. So pretty. I love German Shepherds. Now, the other thing that this person wants, this is so interesting. They don't want to be known. They don't want to be seen. This person wants to be able to meld into society. Like this person may even be a shapeshifter or somebody that wants to be something like a shapeshifter, somebody that this person is not seen, she, he, they, whoever this is, unless they want to be seen, and they don't. And so they probably spend a lot of time living underneath the shadows, constantly changing, constantly mimicking others so that they can fit in or seem like they're fitting in. And it's not because they don't know who they are. It's because they're hiding who they are. They don't want to be revealed. They don't want to be seen. They want to move incognito. This is interesting. And so this could be someone who changes often, and it could be someone who has a lot of different things that they do, like they're constantly evolving and changing and like moving, right? Because they don't want to be seen. They don't desire to be seen. There's some part of this person that prefers to stay hidden, which is okay, right? It's actually very opposite of you, because here you are, you're like, just let me live, let me be, let me get out into the sun, right? This person is the very opposite. It's like, don't come over here, because unless I call you, please don't come over here, right? This person is moon. Your sun, they're hidden, mysterious, right? You guys might be very complimentary for each other. This is very interesting. But one thing to know though, you may want, I don't know, for some of you, if you are like have an interest in this person, if it's like romantic, specifically for those of you who may be just getting to know this person, you may want to hold back. I don't know why I'm hearing this. You may want to hold back and not like feel, even though that's your nature, you just want to be open and honest and transparent and, authentic. When you get around certain people, especially people that carry this energy of shape-shifting, like they have the ability to transform into anything at any time and mold themselves and fit into any type of character. Like it becomes dangerous, because if you give them too much information, especially in terms of romance, I don't know the intentions. It may be an innocent intention here. I don't know, but just for information, right? It's important not to give too much of yourself away. Leave something for mystery, because sometimes people with these types of skills that are able to go incognito and shapeshift and do this, they can take the information and form into exactly what it is that you desire. But it's not really them. They're just playing the role. And so that might not work to your advantage if you're really trying to get this to know this person and you have a romantic interest. That may be something to keep in mind, right, in this particular dynamic. But this person does not want to be seen. They don't. And they do a really good job of mimicking or shape-shifting or fitting into scenarios and scenes when the time is right. They're very talented at that. So much so that you may not even be able to tell that they don't even really belong in that environment, right? Take somebody that travels across the country somewhere. Say they're in like a Irish pub, I don't know, and they just sit and just watch for a couple of hours. Next thing you know, they fit right in, like they have lived there their whole life. You don't know the difference from a traveler or a foreigner from a local or a native. This person is that good. But there's something about the reason. I don't know if they use it like, maliciously. I'm not really getting that energy, but I'm just looking at the energy that they're moving in. There's something about them that they don't want to be seen. They don't want to be found out. They don't want to be open, and they don't want to be an open book. You do, they don't. And lastly, we have money. Okay, what do they want? It has something to do. It says, discover the source of your true power. This person wants to be, they actually want to embody currency like money. I don't necessarily get that they are like over infatuated with money. There's the understanding. This person understands really good the fact that money is needed to live and to meet your needs. But I feel like this is a little bit deeper, right? This says to me, I'm getting the energy like this person actually wants to embody currency. They want to embody money, or to move, to be seen as currency, right? I don't know if you're getting what I'm saying. They actually want to embody the value of something that people can't live without, right? That's what I'm getting here. Because it's talking about the source and true power, right? This is more than just paper, right? There's something deeper that's being said here about money and their desires. We all need money to live, but it's something deeper. It's something deeper than that. There's something intrinsic about value that's coming up here that this person finds very significant. I don't feel like they are materialistic. Like they're probably not someone that runs after trends and symbols and all of that. This is someone who has a deeper understanding and a deeper connection with value, right? And there's something about an intrinsic value of understanding that everything that you need is actually within, embodying your true power, right? Everything that you need is within. This person definitely wants to be a source of abundance. I feel like with the money card. And they probably already are, right? I do feel like this person is very gifted, very talented, very knowledgeable, and very experienced too. Yeah. Probably even lucky. This person could be lucky too. Like whatever they put their hands to do, they're able to turn it into something lucrative. hmm So it's just more than that. I think this person really wants to embody the energy of money. They want to become currency. This is a deep thinker. Now, what is the compromise? You want to be out in the open. They want to be hidden, right? You want to express and feel and, allow yourself to experience everything life has to offer. And they want to be this unreplaceable source for life, possibly even for the people that they care for, the people that they're connected with. And there's some connection with you and them that may place you guys at odds, other than the fact that you're opposites, But what is the compromise, if there is any? Let's take a look. So we have the Knight of Wands. And so the Knight of Wands is a very free-flowing energy. When we talk about the energy of compromise, and we're looking at this Knight of Wands, first of all, Knights are fire energy. They're moving. They want to go and do. They're usually like the right hand of the king. Whatever the king needs to be done, they can trust the Knight. So they're trustworthy. And Wands is fire energy too. This is doubly fiery energy, which says that the compromise lies somewhere between balancing inspiration and fire energy and thrill and passion, balancing somewhere between that and clear thinking, not being all heart driven and not being all head driven. There's some balance between the two. Maybe even focusing on being in the moment more, not looking too far into the future for what's to come and trying to move ahead, not really considering too much of the past. It's really understanding the moment, what's needed or what's relevant, what's working in the moment might be the energy that will make this work, or that will cause this to be something that's compatible, or may bring in the energy of compromise. Not being too deep, like just being in the moment. I feel like this card carries a lot of enthusiasm. There's a lot of drive here, looking at the horse and the bird and the wand. It's pushing forward. Now, this is having like different needs, I believe, too. And this Knight of Wands is really talking about just balancing the two. Excitement, but balancing head-wise so that you don't, lose sight Sometimes you can be so excited with something or just so thrilled with it that you lose all sense of common sense, right? But it's being balanced in that energy of enthusiasm and excitement, but also coupled with clarity and focused around a goal. Why are we here? Right? Other than just to take up space and, possibly look at each other or possibly just be here. Like, what is the goal? What's the end game? Right? So that's the energy that the Knight of Wands brings in. It's passion, it's drive, it's focus too, though, and clarity that's coming in that may be needed to bring things into perspective between you. We also have commitment, but not really in the way that you might automatically assume, even though you could have an interest. I don't want to rule that out. This could be an interest in love, but it doesn't really necessarily have to be. When we talk about commitment, we're talking about understanding. That's why we're talking here, to see it from the other person's perspective or what it is that they want, to look from the other person's view or their experience, right? Here we have obviously two different energies, separate, right? Possibly two different ideas of what's needed in understanding, two different needs, two different understandings. But the commonality comes in when the recognition happens of understanding what the other needs and the compromise of deciding whether or not that's something you're willing or able to provide or give for the other, right? And so there's this compromise coming from both ways, even though you're on opposite sides of the ground, right? There's the compromise of meeting in the middle and being able to see the other person for who they are and what they need, right? And so there's something about that when we talk about commitment. Considering what's needed and also considering the cost. Right? When I read, this is actually a picture that describes a couple of birds that are really good companions. And whether it's friends or just we hanging out all the time. And what happens is when something happens to one, they're so close. When something happens to one, right, the other one takes care of it and makes sure that it gets something to eat. As you can see, one is feeding the other, which gives me the idea that there might be something wrong with one, maybe. Maybe they're not able to go out and get food today. But there is the idea that what is needed in this moment, the other is willing to give. And possibly even to sacrifice to give. And so this is also about being realistic and counting the costs and deciding, like, is this actually something, number one, that I can do? Am I willing to do it? Is it going to even be worth it to do it? Maybe there's not the opportunity or the possibility to have that reciprocated back. That's actually being real. It's really being real and considering the facts, not the potential. It's considering the facts of what it is. And so these questions about whether or not this is something that's doable or worth it, these white flowers, to me, that's commitment, that's loyalty, that says that there's the need for deep reflection and consideration. that may possibly require like a deep level of loyalty here, but it's considering it, right? You're the only one that can say whether or not it's worth it or will it be, or whether or not you have even the capacity to sacrifice on that level. They're the only ones that really can say, you know. Now, in the oracle, we have the computer that comes out with the energy of upgrading your mental software. So here's where the real compromise comes in, because this card is talking about, I love these colors. Look at that. This computer doesn't really give justice to the color of these cards, but there's all these reds and yellows and oranges that just really talks about this passion pouring in. But this is talking about upgrading mental software because it's computer, right? We think of in terms of computers constantly having to upgrade, constantly. Anything dealing with computers, you wait a month and you're already outdated. It's constantly being upgraded to keep up with the evolution of technology. So this is saying that there's something, when we talk about the compromise, there's something about having to renew or be open to welcome in a new way of seeing things. We can't stay stagnant in our own idea of what things are, right? This right here, right? I think there is a value that is felt here. But the compromise, because it's so different, or there's something that would keep some type of conflict going here in the middle. But the compromise is being able to continuously evolve and learn and adapt to new ways of being, to new ideas. It's being willing to be fluid and moldable when necessary. Here with computer, that's in the compromise. It's being open to possibly seeing things different. We know how we've been taught. We know how we've been raised. We know, how we've lived for the last 20, 30, if you've lived that long, 40, but to continue to grow and welcome in change is to continue to live. And it's that kind of attitude that's being called in for the compromise here. The other thing that computer is bringing up here is the fact that when we talk about a computer, this is the World Wide Web. There is no lack of connection. It's connected to everything, right? And I mean everything. Cars, phones, refrigerators, TVs, like it's literally, what do we have that is not connected electronically to the World Wide Web? It's not much left now. We're pretty much all computerized, our watches, right? I can't imagine like there's nothing that you can't connect to a computer functionally. And that says the degree of oneness, right? When we talk about changing how we really look at things, it's really not categorizing things, but looking at things in terms of a sense of oneness and connection with everything. Everything is interconnected when we talk about computers and the World Wide Web. And there is nothing really outside of that anymore. So much so if you ever put anything on the web, good luck, because it's somewhere. It never gets deleted. You may delete it off your computer, but it's always there. It's in the computer collective forever. And so there's some Something about that in this compromise of recognizing oneness, or this connection of everything with everything else. Everything is interconnected. And we can look at that a whole bunch of different ways. We can think of the fact that we connect with certain people for a specific reason. There's no coincidences. And even if there was, there's still yet a reason and a purpose that happens about that connection or through that connection. Everything is connected, and it will all come back to a purpose, right? But there's many ways that we can look at that. And so this is coming in the compromise, the need to continue to be open, to see things differently, to learn more, to see change and accept it, to see each other in a different way, to upgrade our ideas around even what it means to connect with people and to commit, right? That came out, commitment. And it doesn't exactly mean what it meant. What first came up in many people's mind, we're not talking about marriage here. We're not talking about boyfriend, girlfriend, right? No, we're talking about something much greater. We're talking about committing to a purpose or to a greater sense of fulfillment in life. What does that look like now? It certainly doesn't look like what it did 30 years ago. It looks different than it did 20 years ago, maybe even 10 years ago. The meaning of that is wider, is greater. And it's not just black and white. There's not just one meaning. Like, depending on who is defining that term, it could mean many different things. To someone who is concerned about making their business thrive, commitment means something totally different than someone sitting at home waiting for their child to come and help them, clean up something around the house. Commitment can mean many different things on this level. But there's some connection between these two energies. There is a middle ground of commitment. And I'm guessing that there is some purpose here between these two energies because they both came out. Maybe one is you, maybe one is the other. What are we at? 54. Let's just see. So I'm going to look at your energy and see what is your intention towards this other energy. We saw what you wanted out of life in general when it comes to you. This connection, like, what is your intentions towards this other energy? And I said I was going to use my other oracle cards. I'm going to use oracle cards instead. My hidden wisdom realm deck. What is your intention towards the other energy? What is your intention? So I have Scrutiny, the Ringmaster of Scrutiny, the Lady of Lightning, and the Sister of Seasons. So immediately what I'm getting is this person may or may not be someone that is, seasons is coming out here. So it could be someone that's just meant to come and teach something, or this could be someone that comes in for a season. There's something about cycles of growth and maturity and seasons here. So this person could be someone that's just simply come to teach you something, or you are coming to teach them something. What is your intention towards them? To teach them something for a season. Maybe you're meant to be there to help during a cycle in life right now. Like I was saying, when we talk about the computer, we're talking about understanding how everything is connected. Nothing is not connected. So if you are connected with someone, I don't care if you even passed by them and didn't say hi, like there's some purpose in that. And that might affect like 10, 20 different years of your life, just walking by somebody and not speaking, right? There's some purpose here, whether it's intentional, you realizing what that purpose is or not. The intention here is around growth in some type of way. You may feel like you have something to offer this person in terms of growth, of being seasoned in some type of way. Maybe you feel like you have something to gain from this person, or maybe you want to learn something here. But I do feel like you understand that there's some like a paradigm shift that you have brought into their life in some type of way. This may be something that you are intentionally trying to do, cause some kind of change with this person. The Lady of Lightning brings surprises and shock in some type of way sometimes. So maybe you're trying to bring like a shock result in this person's life and wake them up in some type of way. Maybe that's your intention. I don't get like necessarily romance per se. Doesn't mean that it can't be, it could be, but there's some intention here. I feel like that says a lot about you understanding deeply who you are, or what it is that you have come to do, what you bring to the table. You understand that because it's coming out in your intentions. Change, like you're intentionally trying to cause change through this connection in some type of way. And there's a level of discernment that's coming out with the Ringmaster of Scrutiny, like you see it clearly. And you may in fact see a clear way of making that change as well. There's something that's very obvious to you here. Maybe you see this person clearer than they realize, because discernment comes out here, and clarity, and even details. You know more than this person even realizes, possibly. But it feels like your intention is not a shady intention. I feel like it's purpose driven though. Let's see, what are their intentions towards you? What are their intentions towards you? Okay, and so the Camel Boy, the Winged Wise Ones, and the Queen of the Light. came out. When we say queen and king and camel boy and camel, we're just talking energy. We're not talking about gender. Okay. What are their intentions towards you? So there's something coming out very strongly about help here. About help. This person may want to help you in some kind of way. They may want to ask you for help as well. There's something a little bit more elevated when it comes from what this person, their intentions towards you. Because illumination comes out, enlightenment, angelic help, and miracles come out. So there's something a little bit, it's just a little bit more, not necessarily spiritual, but this is a little bit more like they are wanting to show you something or lead you somewhere. Possibly open your eyes in some type of way. Enlighten you in some type of way. What are their intentions towards you? It does feel like a heavy level of support coming in. There's something here about guidance too that I'm feeling, guiding you to do something possibly that you're wanting to do, showing you something with illumination, enlightenment, angelic help. Help is coming out a lot here. And so I feel like when I look at the energy, it doesn't feel like manipulative. It doesn't feel that way. I was a little concerned with all of this hidden energy on their part, but it doesn't feel like towards you, at least. I don't feel any type of like weird energy. And so it actually just feels like you may even have something to learn from one another through interaction. It may be worth looking at a compromise here. Yeah. Yep. And so all in all, I feel like there's something that we can learn from everybody. It's just a matter of choosing who that's going to be. Like when we were looking at commitment here, like we get to choose who that will be, whether or not we see it as being worth it. When we look at the dynamics, the energy that we'll be bringing from each side, like, is that workable? Is that something that I can do? Is that something that I want to do? You know, it boils down to just bare essentials of a situation, of the energy that we bring, you know. And so here, I do feel like, let's see. So what is the result? Let's see what happens. What's going to happen here? Now that we know clearly what you want, where your heart is, what they want, what their heart is. Yeah. So we have the Ace of Cups, new beginning, maybe even a gift from Spirit, the Four of Pentacles. and a new way of living, possibly a more learning something new about discipline. And then the star, possibly even something that has been hoped for. This might bring a level of that energy with the commitment, like something for both of you. There's something that you both will see and get out of this. Whatever that is. The Ace of Cups talks about new beginnings, even a new fulfillment that you get to experience in life. And I know that's right up the sleeve of the one that wants to just experience and be free and be authentic and just live out in the open. But it could also be for the one that wants to be hidden. Maybe there's a new expression here to be, experienced for both of you. Maybe it'll be tasting a little bit of what actually inspires the other. But through this, there's the Four of Pentacles, which talks about a little bit of, I don't know why I'm thinking of discipline energy here. Disciplines, learning something new, stepping outside of what it is that you know to learn something new, right? Something about disciplines. Maybe even a higher level of learning here, mastering something. And it takes a little bit of self-discipline to do that, right? And then the star. This may end up being something totally different than you actually even understood it to be, right? Something greater. We only can see from our own perspective, and it's a very small perspective because we're living through our experience. Sometimes we get the opportunity to see things through a spiritual perspective that's not limited. And even in seeing it, we don't fully understand it because it's like on a whole different level. It's like a revelation, right? When they talk about someone having a revelation, many times they're describing stuff that they don't even understand until time brings it to pass and gives us something to compare it to or some experience that help us to understand it. This feels like that, like something may come about here with the star that may actually open up to have us experience something beautiful. If I didn't know better, I would even say this could even be talking about, tapping into galactic energies too, in some type of way that's coming up. And I know I'm going woo-woo for some of y'all. Stay with me because we almost done, okay? We may be tapping into some galactic energies too, okay? But that's what I'm getting. There's something here that may be worth working and compromising for. I hope this gave some interesting perspectives for you. If it resonated, hey, take it. If it doesn't, you don't have to. Maybe it just does not yet. That's a possibility too. Okay. Anywho, that's what I have. What do you want? What do they want? What's the compromise? That's what came out, and that's what I gave you. Okay. Like, share, comment. Let me know how it resonates. And I will see you all next time. That was the big wind down from the 9 to 5. Have a good evening. Good night. Blood Moon Oracle here, and I'll see you next time.